All right, so I had more clear thought when I looked at this this time, and I realized that we had been looking at number Kaf Ches down below, which is the or Yakar from the Ramak, and it's not easy to understand because there's a whole bunch of different things put into it. The main problem that I see over here is that we have a statement that says that the beard is not mentioned, and then we have two places where the beard is mentioned. So, but they made the statement because the statement is Dikna La Idkar. That's the actual statement of the Sifra that's Niuta. Dikna La Idkar, begin to he yakirusa the kula. So, we saw a bunch of, let me see, several different ideas brought. Considering the time, I think we're gonna go past the number Kaf Ches and try to get to number Kaf Ayin Tes, which Kaf Tes, which has some arichas to it. Maybe we can get a better understanding about why it is that we have mentionings in the Torah in different places of the 13, and he's telling us that it's not there. So what does he mean? So let me do one more thing here. Let me see. Okay. So it says, let's read, after Kaf Ches. That's what we'll do. We'll read after Kaf Ches. So he said, V'chein nizbar b'yof hasham kan v'zel l'shono lo idkar lo nizkar b'raisa. The phrase lo idkar. And then he says, Lo niska v'raisa she'afal pi she'Moshe Rabbeinu all of Hashanim hiskir yud gimel midos. In fact, he did mention it. Hu sheho yelucha b'koich v'yecholas maspik, so he had the power. Lohoridim the ma'atach b'zer anpin, to bring them down into zer anpin. He's also going to armor be'idra rabbis, the implication is something has to do with zer anpin. So he said, "Ma chelach the Moshe the Achis Yud Gimel Mechila the Rachman the Tzad." What's the stress, power, strength, Moshe Rabbeinu, or his position that he's able to bring down these Yud Gimel Mechila the Rachman the Tzad. He's bringing it into the lower world, and therefore we have names for it. Ubechinaza and the Mata is their anpin. Who shehiskir Moshe Rabbeinu olav shalom. So in order to, it's really to do with zer anpin. So now we make a distinction that the rule that we're talking about must be dealing with Erik Anpin. Because Zer Anpin, here we have words for Zer Anpin, is manifestation. When you go up there, Lo Idkar B'Raisa Adkan, that is not mentioned in the Torah, and that's what we got to. So let me see if I can get a little better picture here. Okay, so he says, let's look at number Kaf Tes, see how much we can get done in this. Number Kaf Tes. Let's see, I'm not getting it. Whoa. Kaf Tes. 1 second, I'm sorry about this. A little planning. Okay, we'll have to go like this. So he's over al Derek Bir Zam, Rebbe Ruach David, Sham. And he says, al Maimer Ha'idra Rabbah. Of again the ihu yikira v'tamir b'bekula, since that's the language we got. Lo idgur b'pa'asa the Raisa, there's no place where it's actually mentioned. It's beyond mention. Shabir b'shem Arizal, he said the Rizal below idgur b'Raisa is not mentioned. Shachayud gimel mido shel dikna shenizguru b'Torah. So those 13 that we're talking about that are in fact mentioned, like where it says ke'arachu b'chano, hem hasa'aros v'chatzinuros the dikna. They really refer to the physical quality of the beard, he says the canals, etc. The Erik Anpin, that's talking about Erik Anpin's beard, but only the outside part. And it's from these. It's a secondary light. He said because it's less than the light that's within it. This is what actually affects Erik Anpin, Zer Anpin. V'nikraim Yud Gimel. Bishmam, and they're called his 13. For this is the reason why they call it precious. Niglim the mother So they're because we actually have the effect of them. But when you start getting to, I don't know why he mentioned Keser Chochma, but he did. He said, but Yud Gimel Sephiras of Keser and Chochma de Erikanpin, which is really the light that's inside of the channels. So you can see the light coming out of the channels has to be diffused through the channels themselves of the neshama lechem. There's the pnimis to them. Lo nizka b'Torah. That's the part that's not mentioned in the Torah. He says he named them all Micho. This is another problem. The Eric Anpin, but just really the ikar of what's inside of Eric Anpin. So I'm having a little technical difficulty here. Just trying to move my book. Here we go. Okay, so he said who Derek Shvach Davke. So this would be the. So in other words, he does mention them. But he said, but still, Rabbi Shimon says that they're not mentioned. So he says, this is only shvach. It's something like that. So I'm not sure what shvach means in this case. But the 13 that are mentioned in the Torah, afal pisha him yud gimel sinuras the Eric Anpin, and we mentioned. So there's actually the channels of Eric Anpin. But they're mentioned in the Torah as they manifest themselves and show themselves shine in Zeranpin. So we go like Hashem Ke'arachum B'chanum. So the first Avaya, he says Arishon Shal Eric Anpin, Sheyored also Lahashlim Ayud Gimel Shal Zer Anpin, which that itself, he says, let me get the words so I can understand it. He said before, that's the exterior, that it's actually the hairs themselves, which are a filter really, that filter the light that's inside of them. He said, Shemas Havaya Harishon Shal Eric Anpin, Sheyored also that Havaya, the light of it goes down the Hashlim Yud Gimel Shal Zer Anpin, in order the purpose of it is to bring down the light into Zer Anpin, Shekavar Amarno She'ein Lo Tamid Rak Tesha Tikunim Haniskarim Beparshas Shalach L'cho. So this is a little bit bigger idea than I thought I was going to say. He says that the appearance of this light that's coming from Eric Anpin is for the purpose of building up the beard of Zer Anpin, which only has 9 Tikunim, and this adds another 13, another 4 for 13. I just kind of think I can't. I got to get new glasses. And through this, you see the illumination of all the 13 Kitzonius, the Eric Anpin. That's what does that. So in other words, it's the shefa. I think he's saying it's a shefa that's inside that wants to reach the Zer Anpin, but it has to go through the outside of the beard. So there's the outside of the beard that carries the addition onto Zer Anpin that makes him into a full 13-point beard. And then you see the manifestation of these names. But we find that they're actually specifically they're mentioned, but what is not mentioned in the Torah? Eric Anpin, that's not mentioned. Only the manifestation of the light from up above, Rak Bezer Anpin, that's the only place you see it. Now, let me see what my problem is here to keep moving things around. So he said we have a little bit more time. So he said, the Bein Sa'aras HaRabbi is the Yud Gimel Tigun Dikna. Mevucha be'etz chaim, that's explained over there. V'zel l'shona amna meyud gimel midus elu de michol. Heim ha'shafach ha'penim chizam nimshachim b'muchas memuchas limoah. So this is a little part that we understand. It's really coming from a deeper place. It's coming from the muchas limoah Stimo betoch sa'aros azakan. That's what's actually flowing into the hairs. V'hem hanekroim shvacha datika. They're called the praise of Eric Anpin, or I guess the glory of Eric Anpin. Sa'aros azakan atzman shehem kitzino hatzinoros v'kelim avrim. Sheyarech Hamshchacha Kedisha, the Chadach Kedisha, Bechem is all pouring through them. Hema Yud Gimel Midrash and Nizka B'Torah. Those are the 13 that are mentioned in the Torah, Parshas Kisisa, V'Hema Yud Gimel Midrash of Rachamim that we talked about before in Zeranpit. Now there's a little bit more here. I don't know if we could get to it today. This is the Rei Gamba B'Yaf Shah. RABBI, he says, to begin the Iku Yukira of the Tamira Makulam, so it's the most special part of all of them. Lo Idra Bishum Asa Baraisa, Velo is Galia. Kan Medaber al Hamashchasa, Kadisha, Hanimshach of the Yored Besoch Asaras, that's going down inside of the hairs. Yuhu Ikra Hakol. Call hamochinim shachim agedech hamashchasa kadisha. So all of the mochin are flowing for that reason. Yahas aros heim kelim chalulim, because as we know, he's just reading it out now. Ma'avrim v'tzinuris sheyarach hamashchasa kadisha bechem. V'seder hamashchasa kadisha. Meirov Tamirosa Below Idka Bishum Asa Beraisa Below is Galdi the Shum Nove V'Choise V'Rafil B'Ratzilas Atzma Ena Mizgala Romeir Ella or Hasaras. The only thing you see is the light that's coming out from the outside part, which is the hairs below Hamashchasach Gadesha, but not the flow that's inside. Kihi Ena Nimshachas Ella Besod Mochim B'Halkim Godel. That's something Benimi. Adkan. V'chein Rebbe Yavashach, he says, look over there, he says, V'hani Milin, Stimer Inun, so Stimer Inun, they're all hidden away. V'lochav is Arvun Ba'achronim, it don't mix with anything else, they don't come manifest in their pure form. V'chein Mekilin, these are the Tikunim, Pirusha Shahamashchasa Kadesha Shehi Mekilin, so the real Chazdas are called by the name Nikra Mekilin. They're called the Hashchas itself is called by that name. Stima Inan. They're closed up betochas aros. V'chavil the b'shar shenim shachos v'ha'aros yud gimel tikun dikna de Eric Anpin v'yud gimel tikun dikna de Zer Anpin eider adim shachos osa those are bechinas aros asman only through the hairs themselves. That's all of it. V'lo but not the flow that's inside of the Kadisha Shabbasocha. The lo is arvach, because they don't mix. They never mix into something different. Like, for example, he's saying that the mixing of the hairs of Eric Anpin, the light from the hairs of Eric, the beard of Eric Anpin, actually mix into Zer Anpin and bring Rachmanis to Zer Anpin. But this does not do that. He says it just illuminates the outside. So the lo is arvach shehem Shehem Tikuni Dikta of the Zer Anpin Adkan V'lechein Ha'arech behind the Rekach. It goes into that as a Shem Bezor Rakia, etc., 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 etc. And that's this year today. Go to.